What's up, guys? If you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Also, please smash that like button on the video and enjoy the show.
Support before. I've seen people writing grants to organizations, and they spend years and thousands of hours putting together these huge grant proposals, whereas Dax has the ability. Nobody wants polar bears to go extinct. Nobody wants the Amazon to disappear. Everybody theoretically wants to help these things.
Nah, yours were pretty positive. Some of them get, every viral video I've ever done, the comments are 90% negative. It's kind of funny.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's different ways you can respond to it.
As long as you get something off of them.
But it's also easier for me, though, too, because I'm literally just a content creator. I do a podcast. It's not that serious. You have an organization. You have a mission. You have a 501c3, essentially, right? You need people to not only recognize the importance of your mission, also have complete awareness about it as much as you can so that you get more of the former right there. And also, your reputation within the community, unfortunately, is very important. So, and I say unfortunately because people can decide to run with a narrative about you as they did in 2014 with Eaten Alive, and then it costs your bottom line, and it costs you to be able to do what you righteously want to do.
Yeah,
pisses me off.
No, and conservation is savage. I mean, if that's true that Paul Watson is not with the Sea Shepherd anymore, that is crazy. Yeah, that's crazy. Mm-hmm. And so, yeah, you do constantly in this world, you constantly have to. There's a lot of, you would think that everyone that's trying to protect the earth would be like, shit, man, we're up against like a global systemic problem. We got to just join together. And it's the opposite of that. It's game of jungles. It's all the different conservation organizations are trying to, jockey against, which is why conservation is so unsuccessful in a lot of places, because it's individual organizations. And so, Julian's conservation organization doesn't make friends with Paul's conservation organization. And so that's why what Dax is doing is so cool, because he's somebody with the resources. He's somebody with the vast networks, and everyone's always going, oh, how come the billionaires don't do something? It's like, well, here's one that is. Yeah. He knows exactly what's wrong with the planet, and here's what he does. He listens. He goes in and he says, okay, you've been protecting whales for 50 years. What's the most important thing we have to do next? What are you working on next? What's the most crucial thing that'll save the most amount of cetaceans? They tell him, he does it. He goes with them. He goes on the ground. He goes out onto the ocean. He came with us to the jungle. He figures it out, and that's what's so important. That's where I think he's really groundbreaking, because I haven't seen that type of support before. I've seen people writing grants to organizations, and they spend years and thousands of hours putting together these huge grant proposals, whereas Dax has the ability, Professor X style, to just come in and pick out the best, to go up to someone like Jane Goodall and go, okay, look, how can I help? Or to come down to the Amazon and go, okay, how do we protect this river? And to that type of
it's good leadership.
It's incredibly leadership. I guess he brought that over from, he already, with what he did with Lightspeed, I guess you sort of have to learn that type of leadership to create. Like, sometimes the scale of what he did doesn't occur to me until I go back and I go, you really look at what he did and what he built to get to the position that he got to. And now he's actually using that.
He's putting all his resources into what he cares about. And I wish we saw that all the time with people. It's like, with great power comes great responsibility. And, he seems to be all over the board across conservation. Like, it's not any one type. He's doing everything from you to Sea Shepherd to, there's another one he's looking at right now with a friend of mine. I'm not going to say what that is, but totally different, right? Yeah. And I think that's important, but what's also important is that type of example builds that culture, because you're kind of in a lose-lose, right? You either try to get attention on things and have everyone scream, well, that's the only reason you're doing it, to get attention on this. Oh, look at me with an animal. Or you don't get attention on things because you're afraid that that's what's going to happen, then no one fucking knows about it and no one cares, and you don't get any money and funding.
Yep.
That, it bothers me. I can imagine how much that's got to bother you.
Yeah, but in the last year, after I did your podcast and then everything that happened as a result of that, we've seen such an inspiring, massive result of people going, this is how we can help, then let's do it. Nobody wants polar bears to go extinct. Nobody wants the Amazon to disappear. Everybody theoretically wants to help these things but doesn't know how to do it. And so connecting people to these problems, giving them a way to help. And that's what we've been doing with Jungle Keepers. Our monthly subscribers have gone up by so much, and there's people all over the world now that are literally directly allowing us to protect forests.
Thank you for watching the video, guys. If you haven't already subscribed, please smash that subscribe button and check out this clip's full podcast episode by clicking here or in the description below.